Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
And station's ready for the event.
Houston Chronicle, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call station for a voice check.
Station, this is Andrea Leinfelder of the Houston Chronicle. How do you hear me?
Morning, Andrea. I've got you loud and clear.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being available today. So this is your first mission in space. I want to hear how it's been going and how does it compare with what you expected it to be?
Well, it's been going great. I mean, you really can't put into words how fun it is, and yeah, it definitely meets and exceeds all my expectations. I think it's every day has been a different day. There's just so much new things in terms of whether it's science, new maintenance work to be done, prepping for spacewalks, and so yeah, it's been everything I wished it could be, and definitely more. And I think the thing I was least expecting was how fun it is just to be with the people up here, and so it's kind of like a second family, and so that's also been a joy. And working with the team, as you well know, being a Houstonian, the folks at Mission Control are the ones who do most of the work, and we just get the credit up here. But getting to work with them and seeing the teams, down there 24/7, keeping the station running and keeping us going is pretty cool to be able to work with all of them as well.
What's been the most difficult thing to adapt to in microgravity? Is it like brushing your teeth, eating, just trying to sleep? What's been the most difficult thing that you maybe didn't expect?
I think I would group it into two categories. There's like the physical, which is early on, and then just sort of the mental, which is ongoing. So the physical part takes between about 2 days to a few weeks, and just the feeling of falling and getting used to that, and then your brain eventually adapting, and then just sort of orienting your eyes and your ears and all your senses, getting used to what's going on, and again your brain sort of eventually adapting to all that. And then I think on the mental side, the most difficult thing is you take for granted how much gravity helps organize things, and so it's really a lot more difficult up here to multitask. It's little things. You mentioned brushing your teeth. It's a great example of, you put the toothpaste on, and then if you don't immediately put the toothpaste back in the little pocket where it came from, you're going to lose that toothpaste and it'll be gone because you get so used to on the ground just setting something down, moving off and doing another task. Maybe if you're brushing your teeth at home, maybe you're looking at your phone, and the toothpaste tube is still there when you look back. But here, that's definitely not the case. And so you have to be very, very deliberate and very mentally aware of doing one thing at a time. So whether that's eating, working, reading a book and not losing your book, everything, basically you have to make sure you're paying attention to that one thing, so you don't lose a screwdriver, lose a pencil, lose a tube of toothpaste, or lose whatever it is that you're holding on to.
I guess everyone up there has to be put the lid back on the toothpaste when you're done with it. I guess there's no debate on that one. And so what's been your favorite memory so far, or your favorite moment? Something that when you come back home, you'll look back on fondly.
I've got a few, and I hope they all stick in my mind. I think on the launch, probably in the launch and the docking, the most significant thing I think I remember, or two things really. I know you asked for one, but one was the sight of the thrusters firing in the Dragon, and so there's forward thrusters that do the larger burns, and in space they actually make this plasma plume, and so seeing that out the forward hatch window and seeing the four plumes go into space was breathtaking. And then also about 40 kilometers away from the station when we were starting to rendezvous, the sunlight was just right that we actually picked up the station visually a lot earlier than we normally would have, and it was backlit by the sun, and it looked like pure gold, like just black light and then this golden space station, which was really neat, knowing that's the place we were going to live. I think here on board, the most visually memorable thing that I get to see on a regular basis is the cupola, and just looking out the window. And when I sit in the cupola, I like to flip so that my bottom is down towards the Earth and my feet are going along the way that the station is going. So it feels like you're sort of sitting basically in a spaceship flying over the top of the Earth. And that's something, that's just, I love to do that in the evenings, just to relax and whenever I have free time. And that's definitely something I'll remember the rest of my life.
And so tell me a little bit about the experiments you're participating in and something that's been particularly interesting for you.
Yeah, so that's actually one of the other surprising things is it's hard to keep track of all of them. So we're doing 300 different experiments in the time we're up here, which is more than one a day. And most of these experiments are some scientist's life, work, and passion, and has the potential to change lives on the ground. And so trying to keep track of all those has been a lot of hard work, but it's a lot of fun too to get to interact and be a part of that. So we're doing a whole lot of plant research right now. That we have actually 3 different ones in progress, and so that's been a lot of fun. One is looking at how to deliver nutrients and water to plants in microgravity, and so we know we can grow plants in space, and now we're looking at more efficient ways to do that to make it more scalable and sustainable, especially as we look to go to the moon and stay there, look to go to Mars and have to grow our own food. There's another experiment looking at it's essentially growing stem cell cultures of cotton plants to look at variations that might make them more drought resistant or use less water. Another experiment related to plants that's looking at how they respond at a genetic level to different levels of gravity, and so it's essentially in a centrifuge that can change to be Martian gravity, lunar gravity, Earth gravity, no gravity, and look at how they respond to that. And then the other one that's interesting to me is a whole lot of materials science experiments going on. One in particular just happening this past week is concrete, different types of concrete mixing and trying to figure out better ways to model that on the ground. That helps when concrete hardens on the ground, it gives off a lot of carbon. So if we can figure out a better way to do that, we would reduce the carbon emissions. And then we also have a vested interest in it in Houston, because if we're going to go to the moon and stay, we're going to have to be able to build structures on these other planets and other surfaces. And so figuring out what to do or how to best mix concrete or structural material is the other reason we're doing that. So it's pretty cool work. And as you can imagine, concrete on Earth, the water and the mix settles because of gravity, and in zero or microgravity here, that doesn't happen. So we're studying that and a lot of other similar things that are when we look at material science world where gravity changes how things behave on Earth, and so we can come up with new alloys, new materials. So that's all really exciting stuff that I really enjoy being a part of up here.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. Also, today's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. Are there any celebrations on this station?
Well, I'm wearing my red shirt. The other thing I'd say what we have been doing is over the last few days, Kayla's actually been leading the charge. She was looking for all the heart-shaped lakes we could find and ponds. And it turns out there's actually a lot of heart-shaped little pieces of land or lakes. It's actually a little harder to photograph them, though. So that's been one thing we've been doing. And I think all of us over the last few days have been trying to get pictures of home areas. We've had several passes over the U.S. the last week or two during the day. So trying to find pictures of home and places where we have loved ones around the country on days where there's not clouds and we happen to be over them has been a recent thing we've been doing a lot of as Valentine's Day has been approaching.
Yeah, and on National Spouse Day, you posted on Twitter that you're growing a lettuce bouquet for your wife. And, you mentioned that spouses have the harder job while astronauts are in space. So I'm curious, did you do anything for your wife back home on Valentine's Day? Or are you talking to her at all today?
I have not talked to her yet. I talked to her last night and wished her an early happy Valentine's Day, and I will talk to her again today. And then, the folks, obviously I can't deliver anything in person, and it's hard to order something off online to have delivered. But we have a great support team at Johnson Space Center, and so people who help take care of our families while we're gone as well. And so, I have arranged for her to have a special delivery today, but I'd obviously like to be there in person or have them come here. That'd be the best gift. But in light of, can't do that, but we have the next best thing of a lot of support on the ground to help our families while we're gone.
Awesome. Hey, well, thank you so much for all your time today. Hopefully we'll get to meet when you get back on Earth and talk more about your experiences in space, but enjoy the rest of your time up there.
Well, I do appreciate it, Andrea, and thanks to all the folks of Houston. Enjoy your happy Valentine's Day down there as well.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event.
Thank you to all participants from the Houston Chronicle. Station, please stand by while we reconfigure video and audio communications.